want to do a video that's a testimony of sorts. About 15 months ago, those series of unfortunate events that happened in my life that led me to decide to come to Florida. Now, first off, um, my uncle died, which was a very good friend of mine, and my mom took it very badly, because that was, her rock. So she thought. Um, we had already began to pray. We were praying. We were reading our Bibles. I was just trying to bear witness and tell everyone about God, and that, God was revealing things to his believers at that time as he is now. And I was doing all that, but I wasn't really giving testimony to God's healing power, to what God can do in a man's life. Well, you know how God is. Even though I wasn't doing my part, he was doing his part. So he told me to tell her. It was something a friend told me, but it was, you know when the Spirit's telling you to speak, and you know what you should say. So I said, if you make yourself known unto him, he'll make himself known unto you, Mom. And one day we was at my sister's house, and she said, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna pray, because I've been talking to her again. I was talking to her all the time about God, trying to drive everybody nuts. I figured if I could drive them crazy enough talking to them about God and praying, that maybe they might actually start praying and reading. You know how that is. So she went out back, and I knew he would, and he did. She came back in and she said, Brandon, I want to let you know that he made himself known to me. And I knew right then and there, no matter what happened, she was going to heaven. So my mother is in heaven. She died of a heart attack last December. I mean, not last December, the December before last. I'm just now starting to process it. I couldn't hardly bear to think of it. She was my best friend. She was the only person that I trusted, for the scripture says, do not trust anyone. But if a son cannot trust his mother, who can he trust? So cherish your parents. Try to get them to walk with God, and walk with them, with God. For a family who prays together stays together. Do you understand? Well, my mom died, but I knew she was going to heaven. I tried to rejoice for that. But it's so hard to. It's so hard to. You're supposed to cry when one comes into the world, and you're supposed to rejoice when another leaves. So hard. I do. I cry for both, so I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have enough understanding just to cry for the one I'm supposed to cry for, and to rejoice for the one I should. Maybe not. I don't know. This life is a journey, I'll tell you that much. And then they always die in threes. I ain't figured that one out yet, but I'm sure God will reveal it. There's a reason for everything, people. Everything. Then my grandmother passed, which was fortunate in a way, because my mother could have never, she could have never, ever have went on without her mother. I understand why. I do. I really do. So what I'm saying today is that no matter how hard it seems, it can always be harder. When you think you have no more left in you, remember, He will never ever put more on you than you can bear. If you're feeling weak, you're just getting stronger. And if you feel so strong that you're unbreakable, then you're probably about to become weak. Because none of us are unbreakable. The only one that's unbreakable, unchanging, and never ending is Yeshua HaMashiach, my King. He's the only one. Don't give up, brothers and sisters. Continue to pray, for there's a trial upon us. And it ain't an easy one. It's a very, very hard one. And life is a test. It's a testament, even, if you make it that. So give your testimony, for God is great. He took me from a room that I never left hardly, except to tell my family about God. He took me from a room, and He put me into a job, and I'm someone who is a recluse by nature. I seclude. I'm agoraphobic and diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, but God is helping me with this. He put me into a job. He put me into a home. He put me into a new life. And once upon a time, He helped me to pay my mother's house off, which she had gave up on, which she was getting ready to lose, from a man who was a preacher with the last name Church. I saved our home by working for a preacher named Church. God is real, people. He is a real and loving God. Don't ever give up on Him, no matter what trial or what tribulation you find yourself in. For God will give you what you need when you need it. My name is Brandon, and this is my new channel. It's called Welcome to the Wall. The wall that God built. He will build a wall for us between this evil, for light and darkness can have no league together. And I believe that, for I believe the Scripture. I walk by faith, not by sight. I'll try to grow every day. And even through my suffering, I will praise His name. For holy be His name. And it's just a small part of the suffering He has endured. I love you, brothers and sisters. God is great. God is great. And He is returning one day very soon. My name is Brandon Halsier. Trust who you are and who you are becoming. For in this time, God is healing people. He's breaking them down to build them up, to raise them incorruptible. He's turned us into saints, if you choose to be. I don't claim to be a saint. I claim to be a sinner. So let's get that straight before anybody misconstrues what I'm saying. For I'm most certainly a sinner. But Jesus came to save the sinners. He didn't come to save the righteous. Remember that. You're all worthy, and the debt has been paid. For our King is returning one day very soon. God willing. Come, O Lord, come. God bless, brothers and sisters. This is Brandon Halls here.